What's up, y'all? I'm MadisonReedPayn and welcome to another video. If you're new here and you like budget, style, and beauty, that's my normal content. Be sure to hit that subscribe button because I make videos like that 3 times a week. But in today's video, I really wanted to do something that you guys could get to know me a little better. So I'm going to introduce myself, kind of go over my background a little bit because it's something that I haven't talked about on this channel. And then also I'm going to go over some questions. I asked y'all on Instagram last week to send me what you guys wanted me to talk about. And so that's what today's video is going to be going over. But if you missed your chance to ask me a question and you guys want me to do a part 2 to this video, I'm more than happy to do that. Just drop me any questions you have below. So like I said, my name is MadisonReedPayn. I'm 26 years old. I started my YouTube channel last December, so I've been at this for a little over 6 months. Before doing my YouTube channel, I was a full-time Instagrammer and blogger. I've been doing that for about 6.5 years, and I've been doing it full-time for 3 years. I quit my job on my birthday 3 years ago. So it's my little 3-year anniversary of being my own boss, and I've now added YouTube into the mix. And don't tell the other social platforms, but YouTube is hands down my favorite. YouTube's more of a search engine than a social platform, I guess. Let me know below, which one do you kind of consider it more? And before being a blogger, I've seriously had so many different jobs. I've worked since I was 16, multiple jobs usually. So I've done everything from a daycare worker to working at a restaurant. I've worked at fast food restaurants. I had my own sewing business. I did make game day dresses in college. And then my more big girl jobs that I had before becoming a blogger, if you can even count that, is I did marketing for a lot of different companies, from gyms to apartment buildings. And my favorite job that I had before becoming a full-time blogger was I worked in sports, specifically for the Houston Astros. Do not shade the Astros in my comment section, okay? Well, actually, you guys totally can, but I'm not gonna respond because I absolutely love the Astros. So I worked there, and my favorite part of my job was that I was a part of the mascot races. If you're familiar with the Astros and you hear mascot, I'm sure you think Orbit. I was not Orbit. I was just one of the astronaut runners, and they no longer have the race anymore, so I feel like it's okay for me to disclose that I was one of the runners. So it's probably a really small number of you guys, but if you happen to see a race, well, only the 2 years that we had the races, and you ever remember a really slow astronaut, that was me. I worked with all guys who were much more athletic than I was, and I couldn't see out of it, although I would have been the slowest one anyway, so like we can't even blame it on that. But yeah, I was really terrible. I guess it was entertaining for people though to see like a very slow astronaut. So that was me. So that's what I did before I was a blogger and influencer, even though I really hate that word, although I don't know what else you would call it. So hopping into some of the questions you guys asked, Meg's Cake, I'm so sorry, I'm gonna butcher these handles, asked, what made you start your YouTube channel? I'm sure if you followed me on Instagram before, YouTube probably seems so random because I'm so obsessed with it now and I didn't do it for years. I've wanted to start a YouTube channel for probably 3-4 years, and I have been so crippled by fear in starting one. I felt like people knew a certain Madison on Instagram just because you can only really get to know someone so much through photos. And then it was a little better with stories. I think people got to see more of my personality. But YouTube, like, it is what it is. This is what I look like. This is what I sound like. I'm a girl with a raspier voice, which a few people have commented on this channel. I don't know. I was just very concerned, especially because Instagram is my job and such a big blog presence, that I was very concerned that if my YouTube channel did well, it would make everything else about me look like a failure. I'm an Enneagram 3. We have like a very irrational fear of failure. So I think it was a combination of things. I really do think it was a God thing that I started it when I did, because as you guys know, so many different businesses have been affected because of coronavirus, and I'm genuinely not complaining at all. I'm just kind of putting this into context of why I feel like it was such a blessing, because I know other influencers have different experiences, but for me, my Instagram business was so much off of ad revenue. That's how I paid my bills. And I had every ad that I was gonna do cancel. I've gotten one ad the entire time since the coronavirus pandemic started. And at the very beginning of the pandemic, my YouTube channel monetized. And so I just feel like that was such a God thing that he really put it on my heart to start it when I did. Like, he was like, you're gonna need this. You're gonna need this. So I'm obviously, because I'm talking about God, I'm a woman of faith. And so I really just feel like the Lord was looking out for me. As I'm going through these, I'm gonna kind of lump similar questions together. So my next one is from Paula WPG. Tips for getting comfortable talking to the camera. So my biggest tip for getting comfortable talking in front of the camera is just to start doing it. It is very awkward at first. I think people assume because I come from Insta stories talking like this that it's the same thing. It is totally not. I'm very used to FaceTiming with friends or Marco Poloing with my family. So I'm cool like this. Whenever you have a camera halfway across the room that's just like this dark abyss that you're staring into this little lens, it can be very awkward, but the more you do it, the less awkward it is. I also try to be in an optimum state when I film, and what I mean by that is you can't always do this because I do hold myself to some really strict deadlines, but I try to not film when I'm tired, or if I am tired, I try to, like, you know, get me a cup of coffee, perk it on up. I also try to eat before I film so I'm not hangry. Little things like that can make such a big difference. I've actually been doing that since taking photos on Instagram, because I found that with some campaigns, y'all, I was like not in it to win it. I would just be like falling out and I just needed a snack. So that helps a lot. And then I personally don't do this, but I've heard other YouTubers say that if you're feeling super awkward talking in front of the camera, to put a photo under your camera, under your lens, so you're not like looking low, but like right under your lens, somebody that's really easy for you to talk to. So maybe that's a parent, maybe that's your best friend, but that way you can act like you're talking to them, because I do think that that comes across on camera really well. But the number one thing is just to sit in front of the camera and do it. Everyone feels awkward. Sometimes even still I feel awkward, but you just push through it and you will get better at it. So Kara L. Ford 17 asked, photo editing help please. So I use Lightroom to edit my photos, and I mostly use the mobile version. Y'all, also don't sleep on the iPhone photos where you can like go in and tweak everything on the actual photograph. If you click edit, you can do a lot to a picture in there, but I do use Lightroom mostly to edit my photos. I used to use presets, but then I found that everyone on Instagram was kind of starting to look the same, in my opinion. No shade, but that's kind of how I felt about it. And it's always been my strategy with social media. Whatever everyone else is doing, I would like to do the opposite, just because then you actually stand out. So I don't normally use a preset. I just go into Lightroom and tweak it how I like it. If you guys want a full video on that, or even any Instagram tips, I mean, I've been on Instagram for like 100 years over here, just let me know. Okay, so I'm gonna lump this in with my like YouTube social media questions. So Adriana Keys, who actually went to high school with Adriana, what's up girl, said, you have the best fashion sense. How do you know what to pair with what? So thank you so much for the compliment. As far as YouTube goes, because I actually haven't Instagrammed about fashion. Like, you guys don't even understand on YouTube how random fashion is for me from Instagram. Like, I've always worn outfits, obviously, I'm a human, so I would show things that I would wear on Instagram, but I mean, I've even said for years that I'm not a fashion blogger, so I think it's kind of ironic that so much of my YouTube is fashion. Really, over the past few years, my love for fashion has totally evolved. A lot of it has come with accepting my body type, and I'm not saying that I don't want to make improvements. I'm gonna talk next about like weight loss and all of that. And when I really started paying attention to fashion and dressing for my body type, I think it really came to a head when I got my boobs done last year. So I had to completely change the way that I dress, and I found, wow, there are just so much more flattering styles. Even when I was pear shape, I could have been wearing like way more flattering styles for me. And I just want to clarify, you can wear whatever you would like. A confidence behind it and rocking it is the most important thing. But I did find there were things that I would wear that'd be so much more flattering. And so I remember asking you guys on Instagram, hey, like what hourglass influencers do you guys follow that do style? And I remember asking that question several times on Instagram, not really getting that many responses. If you guys have some curvier or hourglass girls that you like to follow, please leave them below. I would love to follow them. But I really wasn't getting a ton of great suggestions, but so many people were like, no, but when you find that influencer, please let me know. I want to follow her too. And so I really found that there was a huge gap for that for a size 6'8" hourglass body type, which is really what I was looking for to get some style inspo from. I know that was kind of long-winded, but the answer would be that I really work first on dressing for my body type. I take inspiration, especially from a lot of higher end designers, a lot of celebrities with similar body types to me, and then I kind of just play around with it. I think fashion should be fun. It shouldn't really be taken that seriously. If it didn't work, you can switch outfits the next day, like no big deal. So speaking of body, I'm gonna move into that, my diet, weight loss questions, all of that. So Eva 2014 asked, will you ever do what I eat in a day? Yes, I definitely am gonna do that. I'm assuming a lot of these weight loss questions are coming from my weight loss video that I did here on YouTube. And you guys, that video had no views, and then overnight had like 50,000 views. So I didn't know anyone wanted to see weight loss out of me, but I definitely am planning on doing that. Another one right here, Sheldon Riley, what do you eat on keto? T-Can, what do you eat while losing weight? So I do more low carb than keto, but what I eat definitely would fall within a ketogenic diet, so I'm gonna use them interchangeably. But for me, the biggest thing is having as little of carbs as possible. I try to have 20, When I'm hardcore trying to lose weight, I try to do 20 and under. In maintenance mode, I'm more probably closer to 40, if I'm being honest. And then I cut out sugar as well, which has been really great for me. That's pretty much the premise of my diet, which I hate to call it a diet because for me, it really has been a lifestyle change. It is so doable for me. I don't see myself getting off of this. I also got some questions. How do you stay fit? Workout routine, question mark. So embarrassing, I really don't have one right now. Yeah, I don't really have a workout routine right now because when I started to lose weight, I was having really bad back problems, which was part of the reason why I wanted to lose weight. I had a chiropractor tell me I have a weak core, I have bad posture, and I need to get weight off. And so, yeah, I found a lot of workouts would just exacerbate my back pain. So I really started losing weight without it, and it kind of made me lazy and I stopped working out, but I would like to get back on it. I would like to tone up. Ash AG asked for a puppy training update. So I don't think I'm gonna make specific puppy training videos on Trooper. I might do vlogs where I show you guys kind of what we're doing with him, how he's doing, but I don't think I'm gonna do full-on training videos just because Trooper really showed me how not qualified I am to do that. Like, we're gonna end up enrolling him in a puppy school here pretty quickly. We would have already done so had it not been for shutdowns. But if you're looking for a puppy training channel, definitely check out Zach George. I get a lot of tips from him. The video's already so much longer than I thought it would be. Teeth whitening, what do you use? Teeth whitening, how do you keep your teeth so white? So my teeth are veneers. I got fake teeth. I have a whole video on it if you guys want to see it. Actually, if you guys want a video on all the work I've had done, I will totally spill all that tea. It's already on my Instagram and blog, but if you guys want to see it in video form, I definitely can. So I'm going to go over relationship questions now because that was the other most asked thing. So Meja Cortez Nara, I'm so sorry, I butchered that handle, asked, are you married? A lot of different variations of that, like married, single, what's your deal? So I've done other Q&As, not for YouTube, but for Instagram, and people always want to know about relationship stuff. They always want the tea, but I've never had anyone ask before this Q&A if I was married, and I think that's because there are photos of me in wedding dresses on Instagram. So I am single. I just did a photo shoot right before COVID where I was a bride. I normally say no to photo shoots. I'm not a model. I do not think I'm a model, but my hairdresser who does my extensions, shout out to Austin, he's fantastic, asked me if I would do it. They needed a girl that was my size. So I know I for sure wouldn't have if it wasn't Austin asking. I ended up having a ton of fun with it. So I did do that photo shoot, and if I ever do get married, I actually don't want to do the whole big wedding thing. I definitely would if the guy that I was marrying was really important to him. But it's not important to me. I've never been one of those girls that was like planning her wedding on Pinterest. I don't know, I'm like missing that gene. No shade though, like I think weddings are beautiful. Like, have your moment, girl. But if I ever do get married, and I have said this since high school, so I know so many people are gonna be like, you're trying to copy Joe Jonas and Sophia Turner. Like, no. I always thought it would be way more fun to go be in like an 80s Madonna wedding dress and go get married by Elvis. I just think that sounds like a way cooler time. If I ever do get married, that's really more what I would prefer to do. So that was another reason why I said yes to Austin to do the photo shoot, because I was like, my mom can have wedding photos. I can show my grandkids one day. Like, no, this was my wedding photos. But to answer the question, yes, I'm single. It's just not very important to me right now, which everyone's like, oh my God, that's so weird. You're 26, time's ticking. But I mean, I'm not bothered by it at all. I know when I meet the right person and it's God's time for me, that'll be the right time. And until then, I'm just chilling. I definitely have a personality that I can be by myself and it does not bother me at all. So that wraps it up for today's Q&A. I'm shocked that I did not get through more of these. I really was like, I want to rapid fire, but I feel like I like to talk. I had a lot to say about these things. So if there's anything else you guys want to know, I'm more than happy to do a part 2 to this video. Like I said, just drop your questions down below. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today, and I'll see you guys in my next video.